What's up, everybody? We're the Freestyle Freaks on HamiltonRadio.net. I'm Ralph Rotten, also known as DJ Noise. My right-hand man to the right, Billy the Kid, Mr. Funny Man, Mr. Comedian. Billy, how was your weekend?
Cool, man. Mellow. I ain't do nothing. I really ain't do nothing. I was just chilling, and I'm all right with that. But at that age where naps are everything, you know. So
listen, I get it. I get it, man. I get it. Today I took maybe a 5-minute nap.
Yeah.
You know, since I'm home right now, my son, literally gets out of bed and says, "Daddy," and then jumps on me and wakes me up where I'm at, and it's literally crack of dawn, basically. Like and I enjoy it, because once I get back to work, on a normal schedule and normal basis, he's gonna be shattered because he's not gonna see me there on a daily. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to, soak it up as much as I can.
Right.
Tonight we have an incredible person. How I bumped into him. After delivering another speech at the Hamilton Council, I elected to go to Caroni's for one drink, and I did have one drink. But then I remembered TC from Social, shout out to TC, said, "Hey, I want you to come over one of these Tuesdays and jam out with me." And me and TC, are really cool. And I said, absolutely. So, last couple Tuesdays we've been rained out. So I'm like, you know what? It's Tuesday. I gotta go see TC. So I stopped over really quick, and I had one drink. Wasn't too, just one drink, and I told TC, "Yo, you think I can get up on there?" They were doing a jam session. And every time you go there, the music is like, it takes you, it transcends you from somewhere, from where you at to somewhere else, because it's not something you expect in little old Trenton. Trenton has so much talent, so much hidden talent. It's like, how they say there's needles in a haystack, but there's so many of them in Trenton. And a lot of times we don't see that. But TC has, a pretty good platform. He's got a little jam session, and it's like organic. People come out, bring their instruments, and it just, anybody, if you're that talented, you can get up there to give you it's like an open mic with your instruments, with your voice. And, I tapped somebody and said, "Hey, listen, can I get on those congas?"
That's Trenton Social, right?
Yeah, Trenton Social. I said, "Can I get on the congas?" And they're like, "Yeah, after the song you can." And, this gentleman was, started singing, and I was like, "Who is this dude? This guy's, and I said, and I happened to be hitting the congas while he's singing. So I'm hitting the congas, while he's, I'm trying to be in sync with this guy here playing the congas. I'm hitting just one. I'm listening to the drummer. I'm listening to the, the guys, everything, the whole thing. So I'm trying to understand what's going on. And then, here's his voice. And I'm just hitting the congas, and he's doing his thing. A lot of people don't know that I dabble with different instruments and different things. But some of y'all know that I'm a DJ. So, of course, I'm going to dabble with different things. Music is one of my passions. So after, getting, stopping, go and talk to everybody, I happen to bump into him again. He happens to be a friend of my friend. So my friend Seth introduces us. And he was like, "Yo, you were on the congas." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, I heard the congas going." And he was like, "Oh, so all of a sudden," I was like, "Yo, wait a minute. Is that my ancestors talking?" And literally word for word. And I was like, "Well, I'm both equal, so of course." And we started talking and understanding this individual. Incredible mind. We're talking about music, and then, as you're talking to somebody out and about, you start talking about different things. And I told him a little about myself, and then, he told me about himself, and we understood we were on like the same level of understanding. Everything's going on, like people are smoking a cigarette here, people are playing an instrument, could be arguing here, not liking that, but everything was going on, and we're just having this like It was like me and him were just playing chess or checkers at the park, just chilling. It was just like, it's crazy how I put it.
Yeah.
And of course my weekend was amazing. It was chill. I went to a friend's birthday party. Shout out to Greg and Miriam for having me there and my family. Happy birthday, brother. He just turned a big 50. I hope that I get there soon. Not sooner, but I hope that it's my turn to be 50, that I get to enjoy it like he did. So I we started talking and I said, listen, you should come on my show. The first 15 minutes I'm talking to him, it's you start to understand that, man, me and Billy can really bounce off this guy pretty good. And he said, yeah, I'll come over. And, he didn't really take in exactly. I mean, he walked in and he was like, whoa, what's going on? And here we are. I mean, Gabe, right? Tell me about yourself, Gabe. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm still like, what the fuck? I'm a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you can curse a little, just go
my
up
bad,
to
my
the
bad.
to the mic a little, bring the mic up
you
to
think?
yours a
What do you
little.
think?
You can move it. You can,
There
you know.
you go.
It flows.
See, I watch so
Flow
many
free.
podcasts.
Yeah.
When I go over there, I'm just like, okay. I wonder how it is to be on one.
Well,
And now
welcome,
I'm on one.
welcome.
Flow
You
free,
are-
brother. Flow free.
Yeah, this is
right?
like we don't have anything written. We don't rehearse anything. We don't, we didn't even rehearse any comments, questions, or anything like that.
No.
And my first one is, tell me a little bit about yourself, other than, your nerves. Don't worry about the nerves.
Oh no, I'm good, bro.
You
I'm
know-
over that. I'm way over that. When I came in, I started talking to you. It's sink or swim. I did not
Yeah.
expect this, but I think that I asked the universe for this, man. I can't explain it. Like, I was going such in a bad place. And I was like, you know what, no more. I'm just so tired of this. I'm so tired of this. From now on, I'm going to move on. This is what I want. I declare it to the universe. This is what I want. Está hecho. It's done. I just need to do my part and get here and move my body. Bro, that night when I bumped into you, we were not supposed to meet.
No, I wasn't even supposed to stop over there. I was about to go home, and I just
We were not
realized,
supposed to meet.
yo, I got to go see TC, and it was just,
And I was gonna go home, cause the old man in me was like, "Yo, bedtime."
same thing. The old man in me said,
Yeah.
yo, I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
But I said, oh, I'm gonna go out and go see my friend, and realize and see more friends, and my friends knew who your
And
friends and my friends.
know my friends. And
Exactly.
we get our friends.
So it was kind of organic how we bumped into each other.
Yeah, it was tight, man. I was performing. I had no idea, and I kept hearing some congas here and there. And I turned right, and I saw this little shadowy figure in the back. And I'm sitting there just looking like, okay, that's cool, that's tight, because I had a saxophone guy playing. I mean,
You had you had pretty much a full
yeah,
band out there.
full band. That was so
That's
cool,
what it sound
man.
like. Yeah.
So just having you might as well add the, the congas. That's like the universal way we used to communicate back in the days, and the Indians too. I think it was smoke screens and music was the biggest thing,
And dances.
and dances as well. Cries, the native cries. That's crazy, man. And they were so in tune with nature. They knew if something was off, the weather, they just knew. Nature spoke to them because they were kind to nature.
Right.
You feel me? I think that's how we were so connected with the earth, love. Because we didn't have all this stuff, we just
They
knew the
the
it was
stars
us,
and
God,
the
and
universe.
Earth.
They knew the stars in the universe.
Yeah, they
before telescopes and all of that.
they knew when to plant something, when not to plant something. They knew when to to harvest it. They knew when they knew when the fish were gonna come better. They knew it. They did this for many moons. You know what I'm saying? I call it many moons because that's how they interpreted it.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Stargazers.
You want to talk about moons?
I mean, I know we're hitting on. Shout out to all the viewers, all the listeners.
Oh,
Shout out to Scott. Shout out to Phil, Alina. Shout out to Mo. Shout out to Johnny, my boy Rivera. He's gonna release a track tomorrow, or no, Friday. So we're gonna get him on here too. But back to you were saying.
Oh, that's cool. I keep forgetting we're on the podcast.
Yeah,
Nah,
so
just-
I have it here.
Just see, when we talk,
Yeah,
I'm talking to y'all. I ain't worried about what's going on.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing.
We're here, man. And people, like, I keep forgetting people are joining in. That's what's up. I'm starting to get into technology. I'm starting to welcome it. I still believe that technology is great, but it's really defeated us, man. It's brought us so close, but yet so far.
1000%. I agree.
I feel the kids are more out of sync. I feel
Well,
even me sometimes. I don't spell. I don't write. I don't write anymore like I used to on paper.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I have to. If I mess up a word, I used to like going to the dictionary and picking it up and finding it, because now you took the time, the dedication, the work, and you have to memorize it, and you have to write it down. Repetition.
Hmm.
But then again, it depends on the people, what they want to do and how they want to educate themselves.
I think that you hit that precisely on the nail, because I think that social media has pulled us apart from our natural, from the universe, from Earth. I mean, people used to go camping more. People, used to plant more, garden more. People used to spend more time outside. I remember growing up, me and my friends would go on bikes, and we would be out there all night, play, hide and seek. Who knows what other games we played. Tag, manhunt. You know, and we wouldn't come in the house until the street lights, or until we got tired of getting bit by the mosquitoes, legitimately. And there was no, I'm not old, but I'm up there. I grew up in a time where we didn't have cell phones, and there wasn't, hey, where you at? It was, if you didn't get a call that day from your house phone, or you didn't have a phone, if you didn't see that person, you who knows when you're gonna see that person. So the outside, we were all more connected to each other as well as the earth. Back then. Now social media and phones. If you go to a mall, understand social distancing and COVID. But if you go in out and about and you see a pocket of people, whether they have masks or not, most of the time, if you see 10 people, 8 of those 10 people are going to be on their cell phones, either calling, texting, playing a game, looking at their sports, looking at Facebook, and I do agree that it has helped us, but as you said, it also hurt us in a way. And we're not. I mean, I'm not here to shit on social media in any sense, but just since you put a shed a light on it.
All right. I'm going to tell you how bad technology has made us a little bit. Give me 5 numbers you remember right now on top of your head.
5 numbers
5 numbers you remember top of your head.
of my famous numbers or my cell phone.
Just any numbers. You remember them? I know some people can't remember.
My
my
favorite numbers.
Not even the old number.
Oh, my old number.
Okay, he remembers now.
I know that. I know my old whole. I don't want to give any, but I do know phone numbers.
Okay.
I don't know a lot of people's phone numbers.
I know phone numbers since I was 13 years old.
My man, so we had to remember them.
Yeah.
I asked certain adolescents whose minds are still developing. If I remember correctly, you have 7 years, and that's also in the Jewish Shita. One of those. You have 7 years, and I'll tell you what a man you will be. So you have, because their minds and how they're developing, their waves and the patterns of the brains, delta, all that stuff. There's a book by a man named Joe DePlasio, and it's called How to Break the Habit. Sleep Science. What to say to yourself to get yourself in a trance. And you recognize the patterns around where you live at and why you do the stuff you do. And the number one thing, like we talked about last night, people You
Let it
gotta
out.
be honest with yourself, man.
Yeah.
Honest, like that's hard, bro. Am I a loser? Did I mess up? Did I fuck up? Like, was she right? Or was he right? Or you know what I mean? Like you really
What's
have
my
to be honest.
purpose?
Yeah, what's my
You know,
purpose?
what am I doing with this? How am I gonna make it to the next year?
Like you gotta
And I get
ask
it,
these
yeah.
honest questions and then write them down. Like you can't keep running away, bro. You just can't. Like I think Mr. Jordan Madison, what's his name? Jordan Peterson said it best that if you don't not for verbatim, I can't get his words verbatim, but basically, if you don't confront what you have now, you're gonna get more resentful and older. If you can at least tackle one issue at a time, and like even let's say you try to find your purpose, when you find your purpose and you think that's your purpose, try it. Give yourself 1 year, 3 months, like hard, like really, really hard. You will know faster if that's for you. If it's not for you, then just lollygagging, shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's gonna eat your soul, man.
And if you don't, you'll end up kicking yourself straight in the ass. 20, 30 years from now, and say, I could have done this. I
I felt that.
you know what I'm saying?
I felt that hard, dude.
I mean, I could have did this. I could have done that. I could have. And
Shoulda,
instead
coulda,
of asking or telling ourselves could have, we should, and we will, and be able, not maybe, but let's. Like we need to use those terms more instead of I should have, would have, could have, and I didn't. And it's more like I will. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
By the way, I wanted to point out I like the hat.
Ah,
One of my heroes, Clemente, right?
yeah, yeah.
I'm
That's my man.
Listen,
Yeah.
he was a great humanitarian, and I'm not a Pirates fan, but I want an old retro hat of the Pirates because of Clemente. You know what I'm saying?
I went to Pittsburgh before. I saw the Pittsburgh Stadium. It's beautiful, man. Like you gotta go out there and see it, man. And the people are there. All right, they're pretty cool, man. Seeing it. Like I was a traveling man, and I was seeing some incredible things. Some people really gotta get out your zone, man. The world is so much bigger.
Absolutely. I mean, it's I went on a road trip many years ago. We'll say 20 years ago, and it was one of the most enlightened road trip that I could ever take.
Where'd you go?
I went to Miami.
Get out of here.
I got in the car with my friend Brooks. It was one summer that were like, yo, let's do this. And he was like, all right, let's do this. And, we went in his CRX. I brought my pillow. I was like, yo, I don't know how to ride sticks, so I'm going to sleep half the way.
Pause.
So
You don't get it, do you?
yeah, so
Okay.
we stopped at every point and looked at the book and said, all right, this is how far
You did the road map. You did it that way.
yeah, we did the road maps.
MapQuest. Remember that back in the day?
We didn't even use MapQuest. We just
No, but you remember you used to do MapQuest back in the day. I still got lost though, but
MapQuest. Well, MapQuest was prehistoric compared to Google Maps. Because sometimes new roads would be built and MapQuest would you'd be like, what the hell? This road's not even here. So it's
I almost ran
before
into a ditch, bro.
it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But our ride was a straight shot. So it was just when we got there, and it was pouring the whole time we were there and, on our way there. And he was like, man, it's just so much rain. I hope when we get there, it's going to be nice. And I was like, listen, once we cross that border, it's going to be a whole different world. And he was like, I hope you're right. Of course, when we got there, make a long story short, of course, when we got there, the sun came out. Everybody was nice. Welcome to Florida.
That's beautiful, man.
And it was just a great time. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's beautiful, man.
Of course, I've been to Florida, to Miami, Florida, more times. Orlando. I went to different kind of parts of Florida. It's a great state. A lot of diversity.
You ever seen a sunrise, man?
Absolutely.
You seen
I've seen a sunrise
Right.
from in different moments in my life. I've seen one from
I never
the
catch it go up completely. Just get like
No,
I've seen one
oh,
from Seaside Heights, on the on the boardwalk, so I seen it coming up. I seen a sunrise coming from the Pacific. You know, I was out in Puerto Vallarta, in Mexico, on my honeymoon, and the sunrise was, I mean, what I seen, it was just wow. I mean, I was blown away on the beauty of what I seen, and like I've seen, sunrises at home around here, you know, going away on work, seeing, on a January cold frozen lake, the sun coming up
get out of here.
and everything just sparkling. It's like wow.
Hmm.
So I've seen some great sunrises.
Isn't it the colors? Aren't they beautiful? Like
Yeah.
I don't know, they're mesmerizing. You get really in touch with nature because you see the moon come down, and if you're very patient and you wait, you see the sun just rise early in the morning. Skywalker. Feel me?
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
a,
they used to call it.
it's definitely
And when the sun sets, it's seti.
it's I appreciate those things, like, I love sunsets. I love, you guys probably pretty much know I love, nature. I love, life. I love the earth, you know,
Cabin in the woods or house on the beach.
cabin in the woods.
Get out of here.
I Not that I do not want to live on the beach. I would love that. But cabin in the woods, I can do more with a cabin in the woods. I can live off the land. I can build more on that cabin. On a beach, you got sand. You can't build anything with sand. You can only fish.
I'll give you 3 days. 3. That's it.
Actually, as a as
For that,
a, as a, as a
you
child,
miss a phone.
That's trippy what you just said, right?
as a child, I was a Boy Scout. I went on the Klondike in the middle of December, and we're talking about the late '80s, where it was blistering cold. The weather wasn't as heated. It's
You see
not.
like
It
the
wasn't
merit
as hot.
badges and stuff.
I probably still have some,
What's up, man?
and I enjoyed, sleeping out there in a tent in the dead of cold. Man, woke up. We went to church. We we we
Hmm.
we cooked our food on fire, and that was a whole weekend. We're talking about Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if I can do that as a kid, I can most definitely do it as an adult. It's just that my priorities keep me grounded at home because I have kids, I have a wife, you know. But if I was alone,
It's good to have that mentality though. Still,
if I was alone, I would pack my shit up, buy some land out. I am over the true story over the pandemic. We're saying the pandemic because we were all shut. The whole world was shut down. Um, I got to watching YouTube, and I started watching living off the grid, living in two people living in a yurt in Canada in a temperate rainforest, living off the earth, and I mean Jake and I forget her name. Jake and I don't know his girlfriend, and also I'm also watching the it's another show about living in I think in Panama, the Panama jungle, creating living off the earth, living so, and I started growing my own food, so I prepared myself.
Really?
Yeah,
so you could really live remote.
So you notice a difference in taste, right? In food?
absolutely, absolutely.
My man.
I of course I haven't perfected it, so next year I'm gonna keep at it. I'm gonna change different settings. I want to perfect what I'm doing, because if I ever have understanding what we were not prepared for this, and it could have been a famine. I started growing my food just in case. If there's no food, they say, hey, there's no toilet paper.
Good
They may
mindset.
not be food. So I started, listen, hon. Me and my wife, we said, listen, we set out to go to local farms, and we picked up produce locally, and I started grilling outside. I may have put up, you seen, may have put a couple pictures multiple times because of the fact that we didn't know the uncertainty. I didn't know the uncertainty, so I was already planning. And like I said, you give me a log cabin, I'll live off the world.
Right, you built the gate from scratch.
I built a
Shout
whole
out to
fence. I
that.
built a whole fence by myself.
Shout out to
That's
that.
it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
You're a jack of all trades, man. You seem
Yeah.
to impress me even more and more.
and
more,
you know, I just mentally, you know, the first couple of weeks of this pandemic, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I almost fucking lost it. I called the wife almost in tears. I'm like, yo, I don't know how we're gonna do this. I'm not prepared for this.
Really?
But then I stepped back and I said, no, I'm not going to let anxiety or my mental psyche consume my thoughts.
We had a long talk about that night after the radio show.
And
Not to get all into it, but
and I said,
Get out of here, man.
I'm gonna beat this, but I'm gonna learn and build off this. So, on top of me building, you know, what I'm building, and you know, growing a garden, you know, it wasn't the best garden, but my intentions were there 1,000%. I was mentally getting prepared, buying local stuff, buying local meats, you know, trying to support local companies, local businesses, because the mom and pop businesses is what keeps the economy really going.
Yeah, man.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm still, and you know, this is the reason why I keep continuing to go to local businesses, and promoting and supporting local businesses, because at the end of the day, they're the bread and butter of this country.
keep bringing them back on too, man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Absolutely.
major. Like, my mom
I got-
really enjoyed that you reached out to businesses and stuff to bring them on.
You know, I got a couple businesses coming on, and you know, but that's what I was trying to perfect my mind and occupy my mind for a different way of living. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to be ready to approach. Listen, if I gotta live off the grid, if I gotta live without electricity, if I gotta live without food, I gotta learn how to do this.
Did you get a generator or anything like that?
No, I mean,
I can't do it.
but I got more tools. I got more tools. You know, I finally got myself a chainsaw. Now I'm cutting my wood at home. You know, I'm picking up wood if I need to, cut it and burn it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel so ashamed. I'm like so accustomed to the city life and hustle.
Listen, I love this. I love the city life, but you know, you can call my wife right now. In fact, if she's watching, she can call in and she'll say, yeah, you know, he wants to have a farm. You know, he wants to live out in you know, the boonies, because you know, he understand. I understand the nature, and I understand things differently. You can throw me in a patch of woods and say, hey, yo, go find yourself out of here. Without a compass, I can use the sun. I can use the
Oh my man, check
yeah.
you out.
I
man.
remember I was a Boy Scout, so
That's
I
what's
didn't.
up, man.
I did it for the knowledge.
Yeah,
So
that's
I know
what's
how
up,
to, you
man.
know, I can tell the time, almost tell accurately the time on when the sun sets. So how I can find, you know, I can, you know, leave markers and stuff. So, I mean, not a lot about me, but back to you, you know,
Nah,
just a
man,
little bit
go
about
ahead,
me,
dog.
man.
Every time I keep hearing you, I think to myself, you know what? These are great skills that I need to, you know,
A lot of people didn't think that way.
acquire again. Or
A lot of
reverse.
people didn't think that way. Like, you know, we just assumed that the government and everything was just going to work itself out. We're still in a pandemic. I mean, the president literally, supposedly, and I said supposedly, I'm throwing it out there like that. I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm not saying that supposedly he beat it in 2 or 3 days. You know, and most of his staff has got it, and you know, like, but this thing is still going. So we don't know if a second wave is going to be even worse. So we still have to be physically vigilant. We have to be ready. You know, we have to be ready to sustain ourselves. And if all hell break loose, you know, we have to be ready for some kind of anarchy. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we have to be prepared mentally. We have to be physically prepared, because we don't know. Listen, you know, the protests and riots of George Floyd, you know, happened right in our doorstep in Trenton. You know, not something that, you know, I ever knew that could manifest here, and it did. You know, yes, I was there. You know, I think Billy was there too, protesting peacefully. So was I. But when I left there, I didn't know that everything was going to be, you know.
That sucks, bro. What happened to him, right?
Right. It is.
Yeah,
And the
that
guy,
sucks.
speaking of George Floyd, the guy was just let out on $1 million bail bond, charged with murder.
He was charged already.
Charged with murder, but he's out on bond. I mean, you know.
I mean, he's going through his legal process, going through due process. You know, we don't know what he's going through mentally, for all you know, because That was fast. What happened? I don't know. If that makes sense. That was fast. Can I say something real quick, man?
Absolutely. It's
Like,
you're. I brought you on because the
oh
platform is part
man,
of you, man.
no, this is all yours, and I thank you so much. You honor me. Like you honor me so much. Thank you for letting me be a part of this, be a part of your world, man. You honor me, and I hope I can honor you back here on this show today.
Listen,
You know,
just
and the people watching, you know, I hope we
spread
do
spread the
something great.
knowledge.
You know,
I'm just watching two great minds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're a great mind too.
Hey,
It's
listen,
like
listen. I could chime in. They see me all the time, and for those that didn't, that
oh
don't
man,
even matter. But yeah, man. Keep doing your thing. Like I'm actually like I'm watching the show in the show. I'm just
well,
like, yo, that's what's
it's
up,
that's
man.
respect, my brother. And absolutely, you can you say what you want to say. Like nobody's gonna listen. Nobody's gonna call in and say
I'm listening to
well,
this
first
dude talk, man.
you looking
And
fly,
he
dude.
man.
appreciate.
You looking fly. I
I
gotta
I
get you.
I try. I try.
I know I ain't no hater, man. That's one thing. When I see somebody that's my boy and they looking fly, you gotta give them this spirit. You gotta be like, yo, man, you looking fly.
By,
But if you looking terrible, I'm gonna tell you, bro. Come on, pick your stuff up, man.
by the way, I
Right.
have
Feel
to.
me?
I have to. This is listen. This is not by design, but it's not coincidence that I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm an
You
Atlanta Braves fan, and
wanna
we're
hear
up 2-0 right now in the fish.
you wanna hear
So
something crazy, man? And nobody's gonna believe this story. I don't care if you don't believe me. I don't care. I have my grandma. She don't lie. Javi Lopez, the back catcher, is my cousin.
really,
Yeah.
you
from
might
my-
have to introduce me. 'Cause I'm
No,
I'm
no,
a
I
fan,
never
bro.
met him. I never met him. I never met him. It's just pretty on my grandmother's side. She just told me who they was, and I was like, oh, word, that's what's
Let
up.
me not don't
I
let me
was hoping one day.
don't
to,
let
like,
my
get
don't
to
let my
know
wife
him.
don't let my wife
Word,
hear
word.
that because I showed her a video of the Braves. She was like, who's that? And I was like, why do you want to know? She goes, oh, he's cute. And I was like, that's Javi Lopez,
Get out of here.
like a Hall of Fame. He's like a Hall of Fame
Yeah,
catcher.
his my grandmother.
I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame, but right?
No?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not. Don't quote me on that, but he's he played the Hall of Fame.
Word.
Ball,
Yeah, I
what I'm saying?
know. Damn, word, man. You know what? It's been a while since I watched baseball, man.
Yeah, I'm a straight up Atlanta Braves fan.
I'd rather play it than just watch people.
You have no
play,
idea.
you know
I
what
watched the
makes
game
sense?
from start to finish today.
You my man. I just like to be physical. Like I love see the whole thing. I grew more in love with basketball due to the fact that you could play that by yourself. So I didn't have too many.
Speaking of that, Lakers up 2-1.
Ah,
So I like that. I loved baseball because I was poor and I was given a right-handed glove.
a
Right.
word. You got
So
one
I
of those too.
so I trained myself every day on how to throw a ball with a left hand. So I can pitch with both hands. I know I should have went to the majors. I should have, but yes, I can pitch a ball with both hands.
We gotta play one day. Well, not
I can pitch. I can hit. Some of y'all that know me
Batting cage?
personally. Yeah, I can go to the batting cages.
Let's go, man.
I'll wear a
We'll place
mask.
a bet.
I'm definitely. I got the gloves. I still, some of my friends that know that played with me, know that I was I got some speed. I got some.
Alright. You down, man? Wanna do it?
He's like, I don't know about that.
Talk about a batting cage. You sit right there, watch the ball come. You sit behind the loop. They have something to protect you, man. So you just, man.
Hey, man. I never tried it, man. I never tried it, man.
It's
I
a great,
would,
it's a
I
great stress reliever to just get in there in the
Yeah.
batting cages.
I would consider it. I would consider. I wouldn't just say no. Like I consider
Or
it.
the
yeah.
shooting range. I'm down for that.
He wouldn't mind that.
No,
No, my wife.
No,
wouldn't
but
mind.
of
She-
course, please, get your permit, go through the training process, know how to withdraw your weapon, do all the, procedures.
he's
Bro,
already
I
on the
can
process.
Show
He's
you
on that
my
process.
emails right now.
He's
I'm
already
in
on that process.
Yeah.
Well, I say that because people are watching and they don't want to get the wrong idea.
True.
Because at the end of that day, you have rights. People have rights, but people need to educate yourselves on civics.
Just because we talking about firearms, I can show you my phone right now. I'm in contacts with Trenton Police Department. All of that stuff. You trying to do it legit?
You're following the right protocols.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
If people actually do their due diligence, and I'm not saying you, and I hope no one's taking this offensive or anything like that. I'm just saying open up your mind, and if you really knew how to educate yourself, you will respond better. Be slow to answer back. That's why you have two ears and one mouth. Just take your time, Know what you're talking about. Talk to people before you go out there and judge them, or your constituents, or your fellow local representatives, because you don't know what they're going through as well with this pandemic. Local businesses are going through. People are stressing, like you said. Me, I'm cool. I've always been in the house, so I didn't care. You know what I mean? So I was just chilling at the house the entire time. But it's good to get out. I ain't gonna lie to you. After a while, it was nice to get out. See, I have family who I have to be careful. I said, me, I don't. Only the strong survive. I can't explain it, man. Like
Definitely understandable.
growing up, let me ask you a question. Did your before your mom would even take you to the hospital, like you had to be dying,
I would physically have to be bleeding.
right?
I would literally physically have to be like almost on the ground. Like, I used to catch stomach viruses bad,
Oh shit, God damn.
and I kind of trained my body on how to
You had to overcome that, right?
how to overcome it. So now if I get, knock on wood, if I get a stomach virus, I already know what, drink some ginger ale, drink some soup, Powerade, water, get it out as much as, let it out as much as you can. Quarantine yourself, lay down, lay in your stomach, you know, do different things, take cold showers, take warm, it's like
Well, mommy
sweat
was
it
pretty
out,
much soap back on Vicks.
put the
and-
Vicks. We
yeah,
just
and
talked
a
about the
little bit of
Vicks.
like the Terendiga and that's
Exactly,
it,
it's
let's see what happens.
you kind of
Let's see what happens.
you kind of
Only the strong survive, my friend.
you kind of follow the same things that your parents instill upon you, and you say, well, this stuff worked for me when I was a kid. Let me kind of just try it. How bad? What bad can it hurt now? If it doesn't work, I'll add something else to it. Like. But this is sometimes I had the flu really bad once, and I was so delirious, and I was just laying on my couch, just laying there, and kept myself hydrated, kept myself eating, and it was just like, wow, I've never been that sick, but I overcame it. With the Lord that stood behind me and stood on top of me and said, hey, listen.
Who is your God then?
I believe Jesus Christ, my God. Some people leave it up to interpretation. I believe in a higher power. I believe that there is a creator. A lot of people call him different names. I just call him God. And I just think that, on that day, those days, he was just sitting there above me and say, hey, listen, it ain't your time. Keep fighting. And I mean, I'm Catholic. I don't completely agree with the church. What they've done over the years. I'm not going to get into, any details, specifics. But those who watch it can interpret it, understand. But I am faithful to my faith. I do believe in God. I do believe that religion was created for some control. Starting in the Roman Empire, Constantine the Great allowed Christianity to flourish because he felt that he could subjugate his people a little bit better. But they do say a man by the name of Jesus or Jeshua or whatever his name they may have given him definitely walked the earth. I don't know if I wasn't there. There's a lot of thousand years ago. They do say that we do have a creator. They do say that, the Bible it's a story of history. That means that's the reason why they say it is his story. Not
Play on words.
exactly. So yes, I believe in the Bible. I just know a lot of it's written for a purpose of interpretation. It's how you interpret it. Certain things. It's like a poem, a story, a novel. It's a lot of knowledge in there, taken from a lot of people.
I think
And they say there's many versions of the Bible.
Right, cool. This is your show,
There's
bro.
definitely different versions of the Bible. One says one verse says that God was mean, and he was mischievous, and he would do weird things to people. So back to you.
That's one way of looking at it. I lost my train of thought, but that's cool.
I
No, but no, it's cool,
apologize.
man. I'm
Man,
just
I
thinking
think
about
this
everything.
building just levitated like 2 inches off the ground. Like,
No, that's
all right,
cool.
I'm
getting
sorry
deep.
for-
Y'all getting deep.
I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit, in a deeper, I posted earlier, be humble or be humbled, and that right there, I kind of took it from you, because you kind of said that to me, not in that exact words, but you said something on those lines. I said, I wrote that today and understood. Remember, I said to you, I know my purpose. I have a different understanding of life.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And Billy will tell you, like, wait a minute, he's talking a lot deeper than usual. I'm, how do I say, I'm seeing things differently, more and more as I progress. If you
There's a series of questions I want to ask you,
absolutely,
and this will determine. Now, I could be wrong. I try to study it the best way I can possible. But I want to give a shout out to all the COVID survivors and the people who actually, unfortunately passed because of it.
absolutely,
Just know that people would love you and they cared about you and they tried their best. And I hope humanity can just heal from this and stop using this as a political
Word.
agenda. Because people really hurting out there, you feel me? Spreading racism, white shaming, all this crazy stuff, man. We need to stick together.
we just need to be united.
Yeah, we really need to stick together, man. This is not about nothing, man, honestly. And educate yourself, like, because there's some really smugnerate people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They don't take the time to
20
just, study.
2020 basically has been my enlightenment year. I'd say, hey, this year's been shitty, but real talk, it's been an awakening. I'm not saying that I wasn't awoken before, but a higher understanding has been instilled. The more I read, I'm buying books now, reading different books.
Sneakers or books.
Books.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer that I can use a pair of sneaker for a whole entire year until it rips, until it talks to me. Once it starts talking to me, now I have to go and get something else.
You want to hear the craziest story?
Or if I can glue it together, I'll
There
do.
we go. I used to work. This is pretty much to talk about materialistic things, and I hope young kids are listening to this, man. We were just like you. Trust me when I say that. Maybe some people were out of touch, but I know in my heart I'm a big kid still in here. But I gotta be bigger now and lead by example.
Absolutely.
And I gotta think different now. Like I gotta be amongst the wise men now. I have to graduate.
You are sitting amongst
Yeah.
kings right now.
Yeah, man, and that's crazy because you have to understand something. When I declared that, I said from now on, I would stop acting like a heathen in my mindset, and I would stop acting like a peasant and stop thinking so little of me and what I have. And then, in that moment, I said, "Nah, I'm just gonna stay, man. I work so hard. Why can't I give myself just one?" Because the thing is, you can rest, but not too long. Remember, you have an agenda. You gotta keep pounding. Ain't no one gonna do it but you.
Yep.
Ain't no one gonna do it, bro. And no one gonna come and save you. Motivation is crap. That shit comes and goes. You have to be driven. You have to grab it. You have to
determined.
go. You have to be disciplined. You just have to do it, man.
Gotta
But
be
love
determined.
yourself.
Absolutely, love yourself, and and take care of yourself.
Yeah, love yourself.
Have your go out fishing. Go out and go treat yourself to a meal one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be an expensive meal. Just go out and reflect on yourself. What have I accomplished?
Go to Miami and watch the sunset like this dude did.
Yeah, I did that. Listen, I did that. I am blessed to have done stuff like that.
I was like daydreaming when he was talking about. I was like, "Dude, that's dope."
Like I was there when the Elian Gonzalez thing was going
Get
on.
out of here,
Yeah, I
man.
took pictures of the news. I bumped
You
into.
got clippings of the article?
I
That would be
don't.
dope if you still have it.
I don't know if I still do, but I know I have the pictures of like the Univision You know,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
the, the
Telemundo.
yeah the vans, the news vans,
You know
and
what
I
was
remember
real
it was
cool?
hot.
When they finally let Mark Anthony, they did something like they put that commercial for Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? I forgot which one. Universal or something like that.
I forget. I forget.
Because they
Yeah,
never had talked about Puerto Rican unless you have like a certain channel or station or something like that to get like news of what's going on in the isla.
hmm
It was like hard to know about it. You had to know somebody who know. ¿Qué está pasando por ahí? Chiste mean gospel. Gossip. And everyone does. That's just who we are. But that came from us knowing each other. People are strangers now, especially when it comes to the community. I knew that your mom knew my mom, and my mom. If your mom saw that I was doing something a little off,
my ass would have been whooped.
your mom,
By-
hey, I whipped your son's butt because he was doing X, Y, Z. Oh, he did. Guess what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Did
kick his
another
ass
one.
now too.
Yeah.
So it's like
To be
it takes
another one.
the neighborhood to do what?
It takes a village.
Take a
It's a village to raise a child.
It really does. But you have to have wise men and you have women. I understand you went through a lot of hurt, and I'm with you because I have a sister, and I watched what she went through, and also men too. You need to listen because y'all messing it up for us gentlemen, man. Y'all really are, man. Now I have my moments, but just be honest, man. Just give the woman an option, so that she can't say that you didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? Just be honest with her. And you be surprised how many women
Just
be
be
like,
real. Just be real.
you know what? I thought you were dirty. I thought you know what? I respect you. Maybe I might maybe I'll give you a chance. Maybe you'll get lucky. I don't know. Whatever your agenda is, but at least you give her the option. You're respectful. Be a gentleman.
Be honest. Be yourself.
Yeah, be a gentleman, and if she says no, bro, don't get mad like that, man. Just you got a mom, you feel me? You got you maybe have a daughter. I don't know, you feel what I'm saying? But just know that women have options too. They fought so hard, man, throughout history. If you watch it,
They
man.
fought. They fought the
Voting, all that,
suffrage.
man.
The suffrage to get votes to be
Listen,
the
one-
hunger
One of my
strikes.
biggest heroes is a female, and she goes by the name of Harriet Tubman.
It's one of my heroes.
I had to tell a youngin, just real quick.
We-
man,
we-
'cause I
we
said-
spoke, yeah.
I said I wasn't going to talk. Yeah, so I had to tell the youngin. I said I want you to think of the hardest person you know. The hard. I don't care whether they bang, whether they whether they hustle, whatever. And whenever you see a picture of her, I want you to stare into her eyes, and I want you to just think to yourself that the hardest dude that you know couldn't equal up to what you see inside this lady eyes. It ain't a once upon a time story. It ain't made up like that. Those are real events. That's a real person with real occurrence, man. And you look into her eyes, and it's just you just see she was bold.
You see, speaking of Harriet Tubman, the look, her look. I don't ever see a picture of her and smiles. She was always just straight look, like I mean business. I went there last year to Gettysburg, and
Get out of here.
I went there for the history. I'm a history guy. You guys know I'm a history guy. I went there. It was my first official mini getaway, weekend getaway with the wife, my daughter, and my son. And I went there for more of the history to understand what happened there. Not just, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to see battles, reenactments. I heard more of the people telling me the stories. And then I took pictures of, the Underground Railroad, parts of the Underground Railroad.
Really, man.
Yeah, like it's, and you could just,
I'm just visualizing everything you're telling me because I remember reading in the books and seeing the black and white pictures.
and as I walk through the town, I could just feel the entities just trying to tell me their story. Like it was just a sacred town, man. Like it was like, if you can go there once in your life, you will just, you go there pissed off, and it would just bring you back down to reality. Just understanding the history, just understanding what those people went through. I mean, just to give a real historical account of what happened at Gettysburg. There was a house that there was so many people getting killed that they had no doctors, and the people performing surgeries were just literally cutting off limbs and throwing them out the window in a bucket that was just saturated in blood.
I remember hearing about that.
Okay, that's just one story, one account. Okay, and somehow these people, these God sent people, were still able to take care of both the Americans and the rebels and treat them as equals. Because listen, war is a terrible thing, but when you're on the ground in pain, the empathy and the realness of a soul, the humanity comes, brings you together. And you're like, you know what? You're in pain. You're still in pain. I'm going to try to help you as best as I can. I'm going to try to comfort you as best as I can. Yes, I went to the Jenny Wade house. I was there. Absolutely amazing. Shout out to Danielle.
Bro,
Shout out to Mom. Shout out to Patrice. Shout out to Vincent, Mr. Changley.
Word.
They have taverns out there, right?
Yes.
They have like their own like beer and stuff like that.
It was they didn't have their own beer, but it was just a humbling experience to be there. I mean, it was one of the realest places that I had ever stepped foot in my life. I mean, I got some amazing pictures. One of these days I'll post them. Maybe I'll post them on Instagram. It was just it was so humbling that it made me realize how precious life is. In that sense, I already knew how precious life was and how it is, but it kind of opened up, it opened up my mind more, hearing these people's accounts, these stories, the ghost, the ghost stories,
Yo, do you believe in ghosts?
absolutely.
Get outta
Absolutely.
here. You
Absolutely.
believe in ghosts, bro?
I can't.
No.
I can't.
No.
I
Paranormal, yes.
What's the difference?
Paranormals are like happenings, like events, like a gravity hill or something like that.
I physically seen
oh,
entities
goodness.
myself in life.
Like them sunken holes, like that be like in the middle of like lakes and stuff like that. Like definitely like paranormal.
One day I went
the
to
Northern Lights,
the
all of that.
the Lambertville school before it was tore down.
Oh my god.
And I stepped up into the building,
It's gonna be
and
interesting.
my air immediately got sucked out of my life, and I said I got to step back out. I looked up, and I could have sworn I seen somebody watching me. I mean, this is, I can give you.
I'm like energy, yes. Like energy,
I
yes.
mean-
Ghost forms, I can't.
One night I was driving with a female. This was almost 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, and I looked to the side and I seen a man from the Victorian era in a top hat, and I said, "Did you see that?" And she said, "See what?" And I said, "No, never mind." I seen boxes levitate. I will not tell you where and when. As a kid, I was playing hide and seek with my brother, my sister, people we had friends over. My brother decided, he was going to be Bonneville. It took the door off its hinges. So, we were living in an apartment in a third floor building in Chambersburg, on Butler. I won't, you guys can use that to interpretation. This story has actually been published in a book, under a different name. I'm going to reach out to the person to have the person read the book or read some of the,
For real?
real talk. The story was published. I was playing hide and seek, and I came out into this hall out of the apartment, and there was a long way hall that our bunk beds were just the wooden frames of the bunk beds were stacked, and it's my turn to find people. And here I'm coming out, and I was by myself. The lights was on. Everybody was in my mom's friends were in the kitchen, and all the kids were running around. And all of a sudden, I seen boxes moving in the air. I said, "Oh, I got you now." I turned. I looked, and there was nobody there. I ran so fast down those chairs, those 3 flights of stairs, and out the door. And my mom said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I got to leave." She goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I just seen boxes moving in the air." And she said, "Where are you gonna go?" I can't just leave.
It's not there.
And I'm like, never mind. And we would lay, my mom, we were poor. we would lay in a 1-bedroom apartment, my brother, my sister, and my mom.
Hmm.
And while my younger siblings were sleeping, me and my mom was, laying, I would lay on my mattress, whatever. My mom would lay on them, and we'd hear old Italian singing.
Oh,
And I'd be like, Mom, what is that? And she goes,
that's dope.
just embrace it and just enjoy it. I'm like, what do you mean? The next day she was like, oh, that was a ghost singing.
Do you speak a little bit Italian?
I understand. I understand a great amount of Italian. I know certain words, and it's part of the 5 Romance languages. So it's almost it's almost related to Spanish, French, Italian, Spanish, French, So I understand a little bit of it.
I learned Italian when you're hard, when you have so much love in your heart, what you can do, be determined what you can do. So anyway, there was got my ex from back in the day. She was Italian, right? And she was an introducer to her, grandparents, like big and old man grandparents. So I don't know too much about Italians. I hung out with them before. My dad worked with a lot of Italians back in the day. Cool, man.
Some of my best friends are Italian.
Oh my god, man, it's so cool, and they know how to party hard.
And they make some great food.
Yeah, yeah.
My wife's
Everything's
Italian.
carbs,
My
though.
wife's
That's
Italian, and
really
my kids are half Italian.
Oh man,
Pastas.
here we go. It's just like for me, it's the same thing. Spanish part is so much carbs, man. Everything is just rice and beans and bread. Yo.
We will have to leave that for another talk. But quick shout out to my brother.
Oh man, shout out for me would be for now that you speak about his mom, I'm thinking about my mom and a whole bunch of people, and because unfortunately, a lot of men failed. Unfortunately, a lot of good people by themselves, and they struggle.
My mom took care of 3 kids on her own.
See what I mean? So shout out to you, man. You just want to keep your head up, man. Just like Tupac said, keep your head up. We know the struggle. Some of us really see it. Some of us are trying to help you, but we understand, man. You gotta figure this out, or life is burning you so hard. So you gotta be there for you, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
So your shout outs.
And listen, man, shout out to Hamilton Radio. Shout out to my mom who had tuned in. Vincent Petrangeli, a.k.a. Life. Everybody that pretty much tuned in, man. Shout out to our guests, man. You're a deep, real, humble dude, man. Definitely shout out, man, to your whole energy, man. Like, your aura. You're gonna be helping people whether you realize it or not. I feel like you touch and affect basically everybody that you encounter, that you come across, whether you realize it or not.
That's dope, man. Thank you.
Bro, yeah,
it's been a while since I've been around a lot of positive energy and even speaking.
We still exist.
It's hard, man.
Shout out
radio.
to my wife, my daughter, my son, everybody that's part of my life, all my supporters. Listen, if you don't know who to vote for county freeholder, there's only one option. Listen, write me in. I'm really serious. Write me in.
I think you do a good job, man. For real, you got a good.
I just feel that I genuinely care about people. I genuinely care about making change. And I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid. I just want to be the realest. I just want to be the better version of myself tomorrow, today and tomorrow. Shout out to Hamilton Radio for giving us this platform. Shout out to all the producers. Shout out to everybody, all the listeners that tuned in. We're the Freestyle Freaks on HamiltonRadio.net. I'm Ralphie Rotten, also known as DJ Noise, and we're out. Real quick. Just so everybody knows, I'm campaigning about Indigenous Peoples Day in Hamilton, Trenton, and New Jersey. I figure I'll let y'all know about that because Columbus is it is this Monday, and look for I'm gonna drop some education about Columbus, so look for that. Peace, and we're out.